Hello, welcome to the States. The show is sponsored by Christian Service University, located in Kumasi in the Ashanti region. My name is Gabriel 𝗟𝗡𝗩𝗘 Ankrah. I'll be back with the details. Please don't go anywhere.
The Christian Service University, a fully chartered private university in Ghana, is inviting applications for admission. Undergraduate programs include BSc Nursing and Midwifery, Computer Science, Information Technology, Bachelor of Business Administration, BA Communication Studies, Planning and Social Development, and Theology with Administration. Postgraduate programs include MSc in Accounting and Finance, Monitoring and Evaluation, Corporate Planning and Governance. We have MA MPhil Communication Studies, MA Christian Ministry with Management, Event Management, MPhil English and Mathematics Education. With quality, faculty and state-of-the-art facilities, we blend academic work with entrepreneurial mindset in all our programs. For more information, please call 0246 275375, 0240 154825, or 0244 596603, or visit our website www.csuc.edu.gh. CSU is located at Odenaho Kwadaso on the Kumasi-Obuasi Road, 100 meters off Star Junction. Choose CSU today to secure the future of Africa.
And to make him better known. That's
Sorry, not sure.
Wake up to a purposeful day.
Get ready for a transformational morning experience.
Sorena Shrine is here to build our spirituality, mental and physical well-being.
Through positive, inspiring actions and stories.
We bring you exciting activities and conversations that develop us as a people and as a nation.
We take a look at the trending issues in Ghana and the rest of the world.
And we also review the impacting stories from our local newspapers.
Every morning, we bring you stories of hope, change, and renewal.
We empower you through the Word of God and provoke you to live the purposeful life destined for you.
Join us, Anita Kwaku
and the Reverend Ajika Vincent Agbamanya, Monday to Friday from 5:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. as we take you on an inspiring journey, live and exclusively on WTV.
You may also join us on Facebook at WTV Ghana and on YouTube at Wesleyan TV Ghana.
Sorry, not Shrine.
Wake up to a purposeful day.
Sorena Shrine is brought to you by
Danwell Insurance, Multi-Credit Savings and Loan,
and the Methodist University Ghana.
Praise God, praise God. Christ in tea, you respond, yeah, addition. I'm excited to announce to you, friends in the Lord, are you seeking for a platform where you can pray? Open baby up a soul bomb pie. Now ninyami edi in kitahon. Bibi chiro so. And I'm na the same kum. And you're coming home. Let's go into the prayer room on WTV every Friday 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. to meet seasoned ministers of God that God has raised to impact your life. Remember, John Wesley said, I have too much to do, therefore I spend several hours in prayer in able to do it. That is why we are calling upon you. Meet myself, Reverend Hosea Osei, and the Evangelism Mission and Renewal Directorate as we lead you into the prayer room where we encounter Christ. And I believe your life will never be the same. Call your friends or loved ones every Friday 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. where we will encounter Christ. God bless you. See you on our screens on WTV every Friday 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. God bless you.
Welcome back. Let us do W Briefs. On W Briefs, what we do, the segment, is to give you a picture, an executive summary of the topic that we are considering this afternoon. This afternoon, we are looking at a very sensitive and a complex issue. Government this week announced an expansion to its benefits on the National Health Insurance Scheme. 4 new conditions, mental health conditions, have been included. And then these conditions are bipolar disorder, depression disorder, anxiety disorder, and schizo, what we call the schizophrenia disorder. These 4 mental conditions have been included in the package as announced by Dr. Aboagye Da Costa. Closely related to these conditions is the sensitive issue of suicide. Suicide is growing at an alarming rate in the country. The statistics have it that just for the first half year of the year 2024, we recorded 81 completed suicides, 543 attempted cases, as against the same period, 48 completed and 594 in 2023. This is a rise in the issue or cases of suicide. Most worrying is the fact that majority of these cases are among young people who are between the ages of 15 and 29 years. Are you shocked? But the regional dynamics has it that most of the suicide cases among the young people occur in the greater Ankrah, eastern and central regions. The big question is, has our family and social system been so dysfunctional that we are no longer able to detect the motivators for suicide? On the show this afternoon, we are going to look and dig deeper into the issue of suicide in Ghana. I'll be back to introduce my guests. Please stick and stay. Welcome back. So on the stage this afternoon, we are looking at suicide. We are digging deep into the issue of suicide, bearing in mind the announcement by government that 4 major mental health conditions will now be catered for by the health insurance. It is good news, but suicide keeps increasing, especially among the young people. We're going to dig deep and then find out the causes and then possible solution to this menace. The show is brought to us by Christian Service University, which is an evangelical liberal arts institution established 50 years ago to train men and women with ethical values and transformational leadership in Africa. Admissions for the 2024-2025 academic year is in progress for undergraduate and postgraduate programs. CSU offers you dynamic academic and industry-driven programs in nursing, midwifery, business administration, communication, planning, and computer science. For more information, please contact our admissions relations officers on 0246275375, 0240-154-825, 0244596603, or visit our website on www.csu.edu.gh. Choose CSU today to secure the future of Africa. CSU, the university of choice. And we are joined in the studio by a very strong personality, an expert in the area, that we are going to look at. He's an ordained minister of the Methodist Church Ghana and a former CEO of the Ghana Psychology Council. So he is more than able to handle the topic that we are talking about. You are very much welcome, the Reverend Dr. Dinah Ba-Odum.
Thank you.
Good to have you on the show. And we are also joined on the line by former CEO of Mental Health Authority, Professor Akwesi Osei. Prof, you're also welcome to the show this afternoon.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to you all. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I am so excited to have the two of you help us look at the subject this afternoon. Prof, you remember September we touched lightly on this subject when we were marking the World Suicide Day. We are back again, and we are more alarmed because I don't know whether you monitored or you followed. And last Sunday it was reported on the news feed that a young man who is a gospel artist went to church, sang beautifully to worship and praise his maker, and right after that he left a suicide note and he completed the act after singing, and he told his maker, who is God, that he is coming home. It brings to mind, and then knitting that to the good news that NHI will now look at some of the mental health conditions, bipolar, anxiety, depression, and schizo. We deem it right that we should be doing the awareness on suicide because it is growing. I am more concerned because the range, the young people, 19, 20. I'm sure when we delve deep into the discussion, you help us understand why the young people, what at all our problems are that we are trying to. So let me begin with you, Prof, on the line. It's good news. Government announcement.
Yes, once again, good afternoon to all your panelists and your viewers and your listeners. It's good news. It's good news. This is one of the things you've been asking for all along. Ideally, what you really wanted was the mental health levy to provide enough funding that would obviously give us more money to what the NHI can do. And that will give us more funding for various things, including the mental health review tribunal, the operations of the tribunal, the operations of the executive committee, and then the funds to directly attend to patients who come to us and give them medication, all for free. But that money is not on the levy is on the staff. So in this aspect, definitely have a loaf of bread is better than nothing. And we are grateful to the ministry and to the NHI for giving us these 4 conditions. Indeed, if you put these 4 conditions together, they will come up probably about 85 to 90% of all the conditions you see at the hospital. So it's really a very good decision. We are grateful.
Grateful. I'm sure all those who have these conditions will smile because it's like you said, it's better than zero. Help us appreciate the conditions. I don't know whether clinically we can say define them or explain them. What is bipolar? What is depression? What is anxiety? What is schizophrenia?
Yeah, you talk about depression when it says somebody is in a state of mood. The mood has changed to the point that he feels unduly sad when there is little or no reason to be sad. He feels hopeless. He feels worthless. He feels life without worth living. And he may even go to the point of wanting to take his life. Or he may even hear words accusing him, telling him that, don't you realize you are insignificant, you are not worth living? And the person may actually respond before and kill himself. You feel so helpless. And this would have happened about 2 weeks. Then you say you have clinical depression. It's not to say anytime you are sad, you are depressed. No, you can be sad every now and then. You will be sad at some point in time, especially when there's a good reason. But when you talk about clinical depression as a disorder, it would have continued for about 2 weeks with other features like not being able to eat, not being able to sleep, and you might even be losing weight. So that is depression or depressive disorder. Then somebody may have this condition at some point in time, then another time he will feel he's on top of the world. Grandiose, feeling expansive mood, feeling happy, lack of he doesn't have a need for sleep. be so energetic. You may be talking what you call big, talking big in some cases. That is a manic state or manic episode. Now, if somebody has this depression which alternates with a manic episode, then that is bipolar disorder. Other times, you may not even have the depressive phase. You may not have the phase of depression, but that's a manic episode which keeps recurring. That is bipolar disorder. Anxiety disorder, you feel you are on edge, you are apprehensive, you don't know what is going to happen. You feel nervous, you feel like nothing is going to happen, but you don't know exactly what is happening. You might even be shaking, you might be having palpitations. And this will have continued for some time. That becomes anxiety disorder. You are on edge, not knowing what is happening or what is going to happen for no obvious or apparent reason. So that's anxiety disorder. That can also be a problem. Then schizophrenia is what you consider as the very major or most severe form of mental disorder, in which your thinking gets impaired, your behavior might also be impaired, your thinking might be muddled. You might even be well dressed, but when you open your mouth, a whole lot of things come out, and then you realize that there's something wrong with you. Schizophrenia. In the olden days, people have said split mind. Now no, it's not a mind that is split, but everything is so disorganized that you really are not able to function effectively. So that is schizophrenia. And all these three conditions are, as I said, mental conditions, which we see every now and then. And about 80 to 90% of them, of all the things we see, but they also are in line with this form.
Great. Then that like you said, it's a major step for government to more or less provide for these conditions. I'm excited about it by the definition you've given and the fact that long overdue this should have been done for us. So it's good news. I'll come to you, Reverend Doctor, in the studio. Academically, I would have asked what is suicide, but we know that definitely somebody has died. So tell us, I mentioned the statistics, the figures, especially the young people. What are the warning signs of suicide?
I don't know, just as Dr. said, sometimes there are no warning signs. Suicide is an act of killing oneself. You just take your life. It's not a disease, it's a behavior. And so people act for various reasons. And I don't know whether to say there are signs or symptoms. Maybe if there are any signs and symptoms at all, we'll say maybe the person has underlying mental disorder. Like Dr. Say mentioned, if you have anxiety, you have severe schizophrenia and others, even extreme or severe depression, usually when they are recovering, that's what they've been found. They kill themselves because they may think life is not worth living. They may feel hopeless. The person, sometimes people commit suicide because they want to escape, or they think something has happened to prevent humiliation. So maybe they think they've done something serious or whatever has happened to them. It's so shameful, so they want to end it all. So the many reasons. Young people commit suicide. Maybe they're stressed. Maybe growing up, some hormonal changes or something, or stresses of life. So they think life is not worth living. When they die, no one will miss them. So they may be giving cues here and there, but sometimes we don't pay attention.
We don't pay attention. It's some of them, like the cues you mentioned. Maybe the cues have come one time, another, but we are unable to detect it. Do you realize that they are in a family setting? They are with people, they are with friends. Before realize they've just done it. They've just committed that. I wouldn't say, Doc said we've changed it to commit. They've died by suicide. It's not a crime anymore. It's been decriminalized. So you are with a person. You don't think this should end in death, but is the situation so bad that we can say that it links to mental than maybe the feeling? Do you get me? You are with a person. The person is, some don't show. You are laughing, but like you are saying, from your technical point of view, maybe cues have been given. I'm not trained. How do I
Okay, people who are likely to commit suicide, first and foremost, maybe they may have underlying problems. Either the problem is diagnosed or not diagnosed. Like if somebody is having a mental illness, like depression, for instance, people with depression can go to work, come back, do everything. So you may not think they have any problem, but they have big problems. It is only when it is severe that they may not be able to do anything at all. But research has found that it is even those with severe depression, some of them are just too weak to do anything. It's when they are recovering, that is when they are able to kill themselves. So you will live with somebody, you walk about, the person is talking, the person may be talking happy, but at some point the person may say, life cries, too difficult, life is not worth it. And they give you hints here and there. But we don't pay attention because we started talking about depression a long time ago. And we may also think that what the person is going through is not important. We are different people, but we have different, should I say, fortitude. We see things differently, we understand things differently, we have different values, expectations. And so the fact that somebody is going through something, you may not think it's serious, but that person, to that person, is a big deal. And so that person may not be able to cope. So the stress, if it's a stress, let me say stress in the person's life, the person may be giving hints. Sometimes, occasionally, it happens suddenly, maybe because of anger or spontaneous something, because something seriously happened. Like there was a case, I think, in Sweden some time back, where it was one junior brother ate the junior brother ate the senior brother's meat pie or something like that. And you may think it's simple, just only meat pie, but that may be the last straw. So he killed himself.
Over meat pie.
Yeah, you see, over meat pie.
And
then sometimes you say, oh, because of 20 CDs. But there may be so many underlying factors. Or it is just a crime of passion or something. I don't know, maybe. Or no one cares for me, so when I die, no one loves me. I'm not loved, so when I die, nothing will happen.
Some counselors, I quote, because I know when you were active in office, you defined who a counselor is and who a pastoral caregiver is. Some have said that if somebody says, I'm going to kill myself because it's empty threat, those are the people, because if you kill yourself, you kill yourself. They've been given that advice that if the person says it's going to, it means he cannot do it. That is how some people just brush it aside.
It's not true. It is not true at all. It's true that depression, threat, suicidal threat, may be a cry for help. So even if the person is not going to do it, you can't say that the person is not going through a problem. But it is not true that people who talk about committing suicide or killing themselves will not. Majority of them certainly do. Although we may have a few who are very manipulative, they may use that. So maybe that is what the counselors are saying, that the person is saying it. So even in counseling, when somebody says it, then you should know at what period or the stage of the process does the person say, so that you know whether the person really means it. But there are also steps. There are some processes you have to follow because we are not sure. You are not sure whether the person will commit suicide. So you treat it as serious because the attempted suicide is a psychiatric emergency. So it's an emergency. It's a psychiatric emergency. So you can't trivialize it. It is very, very, very important that you pay attention to it. And then confront it head on. If somebody says, life is not worth living, I feel like I'm dead. If I die, no one will miss me. You have to ask the person, talk about it. How do you mean? Do you really mean it? Do you have any plan? Why do you say that? So once you talk to the person will tell you. And in therapy sessions, you confront it headlong, and they may tell you. You may even go into details. On everyone, it's not acceptable to see some of it. So they will accept it that this is what is happening to me, and then by that you help them. But you can't take it for granted that because they say they won't. It's not true.
Okay, let me come to you, Doc, on the other side. Doc, what are the risk factors to this suicide?
Sorry,
yes, I am asking that. What are the risk factors to suicide?
Yeah, there are many factors that we should watch. Somebody who earlier was happy, bubbly, And suddenly, for about 2-3 days, 1 week, he is withdrawn between a social withdrawal. He is withdrawn, he's not coming forward. You ask him a question, he may only nod for an answer or shake his head, will not verbalize. This is something that you should take seriously. It's a warning sign. It is a warning sign you need to recognize and be careful about. Somebody may tell you that, oh, I'm traveling, I don't know when I'm coming. Suddenly, you have not told us of any plans of traveling, and then you say you are traveling. That is a warning sign. You should take it seriously. Somebody begins to put his things in order, including even making will. And I'm not saying that if you make a will, it means you're going to die. No, but the circumstance will tell us he is putting his things in order. He's telling that, oh, in case I'm not around, please take care of my child. Do this, do that. That should tell you why all of a sudden this person is beginning to make plans, as if he's going away and we don't know. That should be a warning sign. Changes in somebody's behavior to you, where all along he was not like that, it should be a warning sign. Somebody may be sitting down, put his chin in his palm, and sign. He does that quite often. It should tell you there is something wrong. Somebody may even tell you, as a reverend said, that I'm going to go. And then you say, go away. This is really mentioned. I need to be. That is dangerous. Very few will actually verbalize and tell you that I'm going to die or I want to die. So if anybody opens his mouth and says so, don't dismiss it. Take it very seriously. There are another serious warning sign is a previous attempt. For somebody who has attempted it previously, it is a major sign that he could do it again. And then somebody may have a chronic illness, a debilitating illness, and he thinks there's no hope. It could be a warning sign. Somebody, maybe somebody loses a job loss, and for a period, he says there's no way that I can survive my children, my family, and they have nothing to tell them. It is a warning sign. So changes in one's job could be a warning sign. So these are things that we normally should see and watch and should not dismiss. Somebody may even write a note, suicide note, and then we see it and we dismiss. No, we should not dismiss. These are all things for instance.
Doc, could we have Prof, all the way through with you online, could we have family issues of history, family history of suicide also being a factor?
Yes, family history is very important because family history of suicide, you said that most cases of suicide are actually from depression. So family history of suicide, meaning that the person who actually took his life in suicide, we have had depression, and depression also tends to run through families. So family history should be taken as very important to recognize that.
So the statistics, as I shared, showed that it's prevalent among the youthful population, maybe between 15 and 29, especially Greater Accra, Eastern region, and Central region. What could contribute to that we have the young people in the cities, cosmopolitan areas, rather seeing life as being worthless?
Yeah, that is an interesting but worrying demographics that we have seen in the past. When we were young, when we heard somebody had taken his life through suicide, and this person may be about 50-60, somebody who has lived enough and feeling maybe frustrated in life, decides to take his life. But now, young people, 15, 20, and indeed as young as 10, we have seen somebody like that taking his life. And so your question is, how come that these changes, we are beginning to note these changes, and how come that the young people are taking their lives? The reasons why young people may take their lives may definitely be different from the reasons why an older person may take his life. An older person may be having lived all his life and then turning back and thinking that life has not been fair to me, or I've not done enough with my son, with my family, and therefore I feel that I'm a failure, and so I want to take my life. So that pushes him into depression, and therefore I want to take my life. So an older person, yes. Now, for a younger person, may not be choosing. Even as a student, when you feel that he is belittled by his colleagues. He may be a little obese and maybe the target of illegal that can be a reason for such a person to take his life. He may not do well in school and his friends are teasing him. That may be a reason for him to take his life. You and I, if you fail in an examination, no big deal. But for such a person, it's a big deal, and they want him to take his life. Somebody said, my parents don't want me to move with this a young man, so I'm taking my life. And it's a real situation that has happened. Indeed, somebody, some time back, about 3 years ago, a young man at a university said he was short, and friends were teasing him that you are shorty. He took his life. So this and then having computer schooling and then not getting job. So these days of unemployed and graduates and whatnot, that can also be stressful to them. So at computer schooling, my parents are expecting me to now contribute or to even support them or help my younger siblings, and I'm not in a position. They feel frustrated. So these are the reasons. And there may also be something physically wrong with the person, and he feels shy to bring it up. There may be something wrong with the genitals, there may be something physically wrong, and he feels shy, he can't bring it up, and he decides to take his life. So among young people, these are various reasons that they don't take their life. Somebody, and these days I must say, with sports betting, gaming is now a major problem. I have had calls of young people wanting to take their lives. The reason they've been sports betting, they've been gaming, and they've spent all their money on it, their school fees, they spend their school fees on it, and they don't know how to go and explain this to their parents, and the only way is for me to take my life. And unfortunately, he decided that, well, let me go to the net to see if I can get help. He goes to the net, he finds our line, he calls, and they were able to counsel them out of it. So these are reasons why young people may want to take their life.
Viewers, if you are just joining us, you are still on The State, and this afternoon we are looking at the issue of suicide. We are digging deep into the rate of suicide in Ghana, and then we are joined in the studio and online in the conversation by a former CEO of the Mental Health Authority, Professor 𝗟𝗜𝗩𝗘, and also former CEO of Ghana Psychological Council and ordained minister of the Methodist Church, the Reverend, I've left the doctor, pardon me, the Reverend Dr. Dinaba Odum in the studio helping us with the discussion. Let me come to you, Reverend Doctor. So we've looked at the worrying situation of the young people. The last bit Prof mentioned about betting and all that. What are the social structures hitherto the family system was supporting in some of these things? Can we say that it has become dysfunctional?
Before I come to that, you know, these days, because of technology, internet and others, we have a lot of young people watching, go to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, so they watch and they compare themselves with others. Or apart from being teased, so they themselves will evaluate and they think, oh, they are not handsome enough or beautiful enough, or they have failed because others are progressing. I'm talking about young people, and they are not progressing. So by comparing themselves with others, they put themselves in situations where they may be quite depressed or feel suicidal if they think the problem is gross. So they can kill themselves. And again, if you look at the social structures now, these days, we used to live in communal setting, although where you have your uncles, your aunties, your other siblings are there. So we are not focusing too much on ourselves. So there's cohesion. You have people to talk to, even if they tease you, they sell. You may know that it is not too bad or something. There's a social support. But now, our family systems have become something else. I don't want to belabor that point because that one, maybe the sociologists will talk more about it. But our family system, the family values, and it's shocking for me that sometimes you meet Christians and I ask myself, do they even know right from wrong? You see, so the standards, the moral standards that we used to have, either, I don't know whether to say it's dwindled or we've played it down. And I've also been asking myself, because you prosperity messages, you go to church and you find young people even comparing themselves with others. We use a big car, I use a nice car, and there was this, I won't mention the name of this school, where they did a prom where people brought very expensive cars to school, and they were dressed like very sophisticated. I just asked, and the person who sent it to me, I said, this is very dangerous. But they didn't understand. They think if your father has wealth and the father is showing off, why wouldn't you? So why wouldn't you be happy, or why is it offense? I said, what about those who don't have? That is why even, I guess, uniform came about. Like in secondary school, primary schools, even during birthdays, the standard, if it's a crate of mineral for everybody, because some parents want to show off and others may feel like they don't have. And as if that is not enough, young people can be very cruel by teasing the other person that you don't have this. My father's car is bigger than yours. So that's, you see, so the moral, the ethics, the standards of living, so the standards that people have set for themselves. And then the children are also copying. I don't know whether they're copying parents or learning those things on social media. And so we are not. And the parents are also working these days. Children need their parents at home. I'm talking about young people. Parents are working. They leave home very early and come very late. They don't have time for children. And so either somebody taking care of your child, or TV or WhatsApp is nurturing your child. So the child doesn't have that kind of relationship, and parents are buying the affection they think by giving you expensive clothes, expensive gadget, TV, or phone, then they've made up for. But these emotional things cannot be filled by material things. So the child may feel unwanted, not loved, or something. That's if they have so much. And if they don't have too much, so they think they are left behind, and so they may want to. And since structures are not there, let me even stretch it a little bit to even the enforcement, apart from family, even law enforcement. If people know that you'll be punished if you did something wrong, then everybody would do you ever. But some may do all kinds of bad things and get away and use that to show off. Use that to show off that I'm rich, I am that, when in actual fact the person is not. And can cause others who think they don't have and cannot steal or do bad things to feel like they have failed.
For where you coming from, by that I mean where you sit as an osofo, the church. What is the church doing? Because some of these things you realize that the people just came from church. What is the structure? What is the, because I believe that the church is the haven for all, we call it the clinic. Anybody who is there wants spiritual care or spiritual help. In the wake of all these, what do you think is the position, or is the, I know the Methodist Church one point in time, I took part in the training, safeguarding policy counseling, where they were trying to train Sunday school teachers to be able to detect the vulnerables and the threats and all that. What is the role of the church in reaching out, or in being able to detect some of these issues before they get out of hand?
Well, first and foremost, you should know that God has given us our will. Everybody, we have our will, and people go to church and they are preached to. So whether they would like it, they will take whatever they hear seriously or not, it's up to them. And then again, what kind of messages are we hearing? Or what kind of messages are our pastors preaching? These days, as if everything is like with magic wand. So you don't have to suffer to gain something. And so when the person is not getting something, he thinks that he has failed. Why is it that it's easy for this person? It may not be easy for the people. And so these prosperity messages, I don't think is helpful. And then my church, I keep telling them that God disciplines those he loves. And because the church is not, I don't know how to put it. Right, wrong. Right is right, wrong is wrong, even if everybody is doing it. So these days, what I find very disturbing is when a young person at church does something wrong and you point it out. You may even find adults saying that you are just too harsh. And it may be, it's like, but these were normal things. So what is so harsh about it? So many of them don't have the inner strength or the resilience. That's what I have found, to be able to withstand some of these things. And so if the church really, really wants to help, then the church will speak the truth. So in love, and I don't know.
Truth in love.
Yes, and what is speaking the truth in love?
Because the will is that of the person.
Yes, so, and then if something is wrong, we should be bold enough to say it is wrong. If there's Sometimes it's sad you hear people saying that if you are rich, then you are promoted. I don't think it's wholly true. I don't think it's. It may be a perception, but so we correct all those impressions so that those who are in church and feel lost may think they are also appreciated. Because if no one appreciates you, at least at church, you should feel like you are somebody. That is not because your mother is rich or your mother is in the church. That is why.
That is okay. Prof, let me come to you before we take a break. Men's mental health. It is. I don't know whether research has proven that, but you realize that most of the people who are depressed or who commit suicide are men.
More women than men, except that more men succeed.
Prof, yes. Prof, I'm asking about men. Is it men? It is. You heard me.
Yeah, that's right. Interestingly,
Reverend Doc is shaking her head. Is disagreeing with that position.
Yeah, that's right. Interestingly, statistically, more men take their lives than women. So for every 4 cases of suicide or attempted suicide, so every 4 cases of suicide that attempted suicide, 3 are men and 1 is a woman. So more men take their lives than women. However, more women attempt suicide. And so the ratio is this. So every 4 case of attempted suicide, 3 are women and 1 is. So what happens then is that when women or when a man decides to take his life, he would have contemplated very seriously, he means it, and then he takes a lethal method, a method that is not directly to kill him, like jumping in front of a moving vehicle, or from a height, or stabbing, or shooting, something like that, or hanging. So these are methods that are not likely to kill. So before anybody comes to their rescue, he would have killed. Women don't tend to use these lethal methods, either partly because they may not have the courage to use that lethal method, or what is really going inside a man is not that as serious as for a man. So generally, it seems like a crime for help. So women really cries for help, whereas man will not so easily cry for help. He will contemplate up the consequence of it. So generally, more men die from suicide than women.
Interesting.
However, the ratio that we are seeing are beginning to change these days. And so a little study I did, it was roughly about the same proportion of men taking their lives as women. So the dynamics are changing and the demographics are changing of late. But generally, more men die from suicide. And so your question is that, is it because men have more mental health issues? Not necessarily. On the average, in terms of mental health issues, men and women have equally. There are some conditions more women have than men for various reasons. For instance, depression, women have it more than men. So for every 4 cases of depression or 3 cases of depression, 2 or 3 will be women and 1 is a man. So women have more than men, inclusive from different reasons. The hormones that influence their onset of menses, the hormones that influence their menstruation, that influence their pregnancy, that influence their menopause. These restrictions tend to be quite stressful to women, and men don't have that much. So that becomes the reason. And again, if you come to our culture here, women are really under stress.
Prof, yes, I like the culture bit that you are introducing into. Viewers, please stay tuned. We'll take a quick break. When we are back, we'll continue. Don't go anywhere.
The Christian Service University, a fully chartered private university in Ghana, is inviting applications for admission. Undergraduate programs include BSc Nursing and Midwifery, Computer Science, Information Technology, Bachelor of Business Administration, BA Communication Studies, Planning and Social Development, and Theology with Administration. Postgraduate programs include MSc in Accounting and Finance, Monitoring and Evaluation, Corporate Planning and Governance. We have MA MPhil Communication Studies, MA Christian Ministry with Management, Event Management, MPhil English and Mathematics Education. With quality, faculty and state-of-the-art facilities, we blend academic work with entrepreneurial mindset in all our programs. For more information, please call 0246 275375, 0240 154825, or 0244 596603, or visit our website www.csuc.edu.gh. CSU is located at Odenaho Kwadaso on the Kumasi-Obuasi Road, 100 meters off Star Junction. Choose CSU today to secure the future of Africa.
And to make him better known. That's
Welcome back from the break. You are on the state. This afternoon we are looking at the rate of suicide in Ghana and in the light of the announcement by government that 4 major mental health conditions will now be covered by the health insurance. And we have big time experts on the subject matter who are leading us in the discussion. Professor 𝗟𝗜𝗩𝗘, formerly head of Mental Health Authority, and then former CEO of Ghana Psychological Council, Reverend Dr. Dinah Ba-Odum, leading us in the discussion. Prof, just to end with you and then come to Doc in the studio, you were linking the cultural aspects to maybe the reason why men succeed in dying by suicide.
Yeah, so I was making the closer to depression, which men have more than, which women have more than men. And as I was saying, in our environment, women are more under stress than women. Imagine a typical scenario of our village, where the man is coming from the farm and is only holding the maternity. The woman is probably pregnant and has a child at the back and still carrying a load on the hip. And when they come home, the man just goes to the drinking spot or to play spa. And the woman goes to kitchen, and after some 2 hours, the man comes back and asks for my food. So women are under stress. Imagine we do right. All this has shifted to women. Having said that, it is depression, as I said, women have more than men. But there are other conditions that men have more than women. For instance, substance abuse. For every 10 cases of substance abuse, 9 will be male and 1 female. So, and again, our culture somehow protects women from drinking, from smoking, from engaging in substance abuse, whereas the culture is a community for men. So there are differences in the incidence of mental illness in both males and females. But if you put all of them, it's about 1 to 1. 1 to 1.
Okay. Reverend Doc, let me come to you in the studio. It's just fair that once I've made the Doc talk about men's mental health, the women, what do you think?
My doctor said almost everything. The thing is, women are under a lot of stress. And sociologically, according to even our own research, we have a lot more women heading families these days, as heads of families. And if you are head of a family, you can imagine they depend on you for school fees and everything. You have to take a big chunk of the responsibility. When men used to work and shoulder much of those responsibilities, women were more relaxed, although the demands on the women too was some way. But these days, we have women who are also working like men, isn't it? They are under stress, they are managers, so they are also under stress. Apart from that, so you go home, you are an HR manager, you still go home, and you are expected to perform your wifely duties apart from the motherly duties, make sure that there's food and everything. So the stresses on women, maybe that is why more women attempt suicide compared to men, except that more men succeed because of the methods they use. They succeed in killing themselves compared to women.
To the women.
So the stresses of life affect women, and then more women also are depressed or get depressed. And because of their mental state, they are more likely to attempt suicide.
Now let's look at prevention. How do we prevent suicide?
First and foremost, I would say that you have to take good care of your mental health. You see, there's no health without mental health. Many people think that once physically I'm okay, but mentally we have to take care of our mental health seriously. Rest, sleep, eat well, have social life, do all kinds of things, forgive yourself, love yourself, do so many other things that will promote your own. Let go of the past, don't hold on to certain things, certain everyday stuff. So that, and then we need social support too. In the family, we said that people who attempt suicide, give hints. So we should be good listeners. So if you are in a home and then your child, your husband, your wife, give the hints that Dr. Said talked about. They are packing their things, they are writing notes, they are saying, oh, this world cry is not nice. If I go, no one will miss me, or something like that. Then take note of that, ask and probe more. So you are a good listener. You also have to be very supportive, because it's been found that if people kill themselves, if they know that at least one person is there who cares about them, and you let them know that if you kill yourself, it will worry me, and I'm there, I don't know how I'm going to cope, they will not do it for your sake. For your sake. So once they know somebody in the family cares, they may have the suicidal ideation or something, but they may not. And then you also help them. If they are mentally ill or they are having emotional challenges, mental health challenge, you should encourage them to go to hospital. Many a times we think when people go to hospital because of mental health problem, it's a sign of weakness. It's not. It takes a brave and a strong person to own up or to accept that I am not well mentally, and to seek help. I mean, appropriate help. You don't go and hide somewhere in some church or somewhere. So you seek appropriate help. So when you get the help, then all these the stresses of life, the illnesses will go down, because you'll be able to cope. You get support, you get treatment. And then if it is about guilt or something, maybe the person feels like whatever has happened is so shameful. The family should also be there to help the person to overcome the guilt and the humiliation. Because if you owe, you think you owe and this was shameful, or you did your business and it collapsed, the family should be, God created families for support. And families don't usually, even if they judge you, it's not as if the whole world is judging. So the family will be there for you, and then they will support. We also encourage people to talk about their issues. Some bottle up. So they should talk about their issues rather than hide, thinking that they will read around it, do all kinds of things, or maybe take substance to hide it. It will even heighten the problem. So if you talk about it and the family support and then seeking help, they are all helpful.
Means of preventing. Prof, your final words.
Yeah, so it's important. This part is important to mention. In addition, people should learn to relax and not what they are doing now. You should learn engage functions. If you engage functions, you need press and feel too much, and you're able to relax. You should sleep very quickly and be more exercise. We should also build our own inner resilience, which will tell us that no matter the challenges we are going through, we shall stand it. We may fall down, but we rise up and move on. But very importantly is for us to understand these issues about mental health, about suicide, and then to be forewarned is beforehand. Once you have had the literacy, we are able to implement this practice. Thank you.
Great. Bam, you have final words, because you gave me the prevention. Now you finally
okay. So what I will add to what Dr. Osei said is that whatever we are going through is temporary. It will pass. It will surely pass. So we shouldn't think life has come to an end. And then we shouldn't also keep it a secret when you have issue, or when somebody tells you that, oh, I wish I'm dead or something. Don't keep it a secret. Talk about it. And then if you know that there are some things that somebody who has this ideation is about, make sure you don't put things, or you look for things that the person can use to hurt himself. Make sure that they are not easily accessible. So we should take care of our mental health and
We
build
should take care
resilience.
of our mental health. Thank you very much, Professor Kwesi Osei, formerly head of National Ghana Mental Health Authority, and then a CEO, former CEO of Ghana Psychological Council, the Reverend Dr. Dainaba Odom, for joining us in this conversation. It is suicide. Let us not be judgmental. Let us not be judgmental. Empathy and compassion could be the difference between life and death. Let us show them. Viewers, thank you for joining us, and we do not take your patronage for granted. It is a weekend. Take very good care of yourself. Stay well rested and drink enough water. I am back on Monday on your set. Goodbye.